Welcome to HubNut. My name's Ian and we truly celebrate the average. Now you're thinking, but this is a sporty little number. This doesn't look very average at all. This is the famous Rover Tomcat Coupe. Believe me, this one is very, very HubNut. Now, whereas most people would want to drive the range-topping 220 turbo with a 2-litre turbocharged engine that would torque steer its way to 150 miles an hour, this is so much more HubNut. This is the base 1.6 model. If that's not enough, this is a late facelift one, so it's got the 1.6 K-Series engine, not the earlier Honda engine, and it's allied to a CVT. What on earth were they thinking? I don't care, I'm genuinely intrigued to try this. The CVT with continuously variable transmission where you got a steel belt running on pulleys for an infinite range of gears. These have always fascinated me, so this should be fun. I'm not sure it's going to be very sporty though. That's fine because the weather is not exactly sporty anyway, but yeah, this is a Tomcat Coupe, although some people say Tomcat is only reserved for the range topping turbo. But it's a spin-off from the Rover R8 platform, which was a joint development with Honda. So Honda and Rover very much worked together to create the R8 range of 200 and 400s. The Coupe came along in 1992. Initially, like I say, there was a single cam Honda engine option as your entry-level model, but most had the Rover T-Series 2-litre engine, either turbocharged or not. As a point of recognition on the hatchback and the 400 saloon, the bonnet bulge always dictates 2-litre engine, but I think all the coupes got the bonnet bulge whether they needed it or not. In 1996 a facelift occurred where they fitted the chrome grille, but also there were changes under the bonnet. The Honda engine gave way to the famous Rover K-Series engine, here in 1.6 litre form. They were trying to move away with the sale to BMW in 1994. Rover was trying to move away from Honda power. So although the new 400 could be had with a 1.6 Honda, only with automatic transmission, the manual was a 1.6 K-Series. So twin cam, 16 valve, layered aluminium construction, an engine with some issues, but it's allied here to a CVT. Quite intriguing. So yeah, it should be interesting. At the same time as the facelift, the 2-litre engines gave way to a 1.8 VVC, 160 brake horsepower version of this engine. And yeah, they went well, but not as well as the turbo. Now, the K-Series does get a very bad press. It was notorious for head gasket failure. There were definite shortcomings in the engine. It was originally designed to be a lean burn engine, but lean burn quickly got replaced by catalytic converters. And those that know say the engine didn't respond well to that change. They always designed it to be scaled up. So from the original 1.4, there was actually a 1.1 in some models, all the way up to 1.8. And it was used in the Lotus Elise, the MGF. It was an engine that saw an awful lot of use, but yeah, sadly, there were definitely design issues with the head gaskets, and because of the layered construction where the head bolt went right through the engine, doing the job properly is actually quite difficult. And there's also a few other little things. You can have leaks on the inlet manifold gasket that look like head gasket failure and aren't. But an engine that now is much more thoroughly understood. Before we have a look inside, I'll just point out it is not a fastback, or maybe it is a fastback, it depends on your definition, but the rear window, despite having a rear wiper, is actually fixed in place. It does not lift. We've just got this tiny little boot at the back, so fairly limited access, but actually it's quite a deep boot. It goes all the way to the back seats, so there's quite a bit of storage space in there. Here's the trusty backpack crammed in there. There's no release on the outside other than using the key, but because it's based on a Honda, you do get an internal release here, just down here. So yeah, let's take in the interior. These lovely bucket seats, lovely contrast colour going on. It's a T roof as well. So you've got tilting removable sunroof panels. We're not even going to touch those today. But hopping in, and it'll be very familiar to anyone who's driven a Honda of any type. We've even got Honda stalks. The wiper one is quite annoying because you actually have to twist the end of it to cycle through the wiper settings. There is a mist function, and that's your rear wiper control. But yeah, all a bit annoying really, but you can't just manually push the stalk through the settings. I never liked that. Electric mirrors, electric windows, and here in the middle just a little bit of wood to add a bit of class. You can change whether the vents are fresh air or not, and otherwise fairly regular. Some nice color control buttons there, they feel really nice. That's your indicator noise. So yeah, fresh air vents, a bit more wood up there. Little glove box, which is quite full in this case. It's quite a nice place to sit. I love the way the headrests sort of go into the seat bolsters. It's quite light in here because we've got the pop-up roof. Although headroom does feel a little tight. It's not too bad, but it seems there's not an awful lot between my head and the glass roof. But huge doors, of course, excellent door mirrors, all the good. I suppose for the reasons of thoroughness, I should try and get in the back. Ooh, it's always a bit of a squeeze getting in the back of a 3-door, but there we go. I'm in. Headroom, I'm definitely going to say is compromised. So a knee room isn't overly generous behind someone like me. I'm 5'10". So yeah, I wouldn't like to sit back here for too long. I think the regular saloon and hatchback would be preferable for people carrying. Fire the engine up. And sounds quite sporty. I don't know if that's factory or if the exhaust has been tweaked a bit over the years, but yeah, sounds purposeful in a way that it arguably shouldn't. So there's our wiping performance. Don't need screen wash today. Good overlap, no triangle of doom. Very, very Honda. Yes, this one does have a crap windscreen. Unfortunately, it does need to be replaced. Gonna pop some lights on because it's so dark. Turn the fan speed down a little. And here is my gear selector. So I just go into drive and it starts creeping like a conventional automatic. You could get the first series of coupes with an automatic, but that was a conventional Honda 4-speed unit. I'm not sure how many took up the option, but it's just very weird driving a CVT because there are no gear changes. There is not even any sensation of gear changing. Put a heated rear window on because it's getting a bit misty in here. I'm going to have to turn the fan up, I'm afraid, as well. Yeah, CVTs are strange. So a CVT will try and keep the engine speed in one place to either benefit economy if you're driving with a light throttle, or to benefit performance, and it'll choose a higher rev point if you really want to get down the road quickly. They're very strange things to get used to at first. Pottering around at 20 miles an hour, it's just holding the engine speed just below 2000 revs. And weirdly, even when you're slowing down to a stop, it holds the engine revs up slightly. Don't worry, little old lady. So it's a most peculiar sensation. It's not sporty in the slightest. The ride is quite sporty. It's quite firm, but quite nice steering. It's a little over-assisted perhaps. But these are always very well regarded cars in terms of chassis dynamics. Rover engineers insisted on McPherson strut front suspension. Honda less convinced. So it's still got a double wishbone rear end. But the Japanese market concertos, the Honda Concerto being the sister car to the Rover 200s, had double wishbone front suspension. Honda just were like, no, we're not doing it. So they stuck with their double wishbones at the front. But hugely important joint project for both companies, really. It helped Rover continue and deliver what is actually, a very competitive rival in a very competitive market sector, and it helped Honda get established in Europe. It helped the Honda engineers understand what it is that European buyers wanted, because Honda was struggling to deliver the right driving dynamics. So here we go, put my foot down now. and it's holding 3,000 revs up to 40 miles an hour, which sounds no difference really to the 50 mile an hour we're now doing. And as I ease off, the revs will start coming down, but we're still accelerating. That's the curious thing about CVTs. But not only could you get the CVT in these, you could also get it in the MGF. But there was a later version that they called the step speed. And in sport mode, it would fake gears by having preset pulley positions. So it sounded like a more conventional car, because people hated this. They never got on board with CVTs, apart from those few loyalists who bought a DAF or a Volvo 340. CVTs were just seen as not particularly desirable. The technology was improved in the 1980s. The DAFs and the Volvos used rubber bands, effectively rubber belts, whereas these moved to a steel belt, and it was used in the Fiat Uno and Panda were available as selectors, and they used it was still a DAF gearbox. You could get Fords, Fiestas, and I think Escorts. Maybe it was just Fiestas with the CVTs as well. And briefly, you could even get them in Audi diesels. But Nissan is really the only company, and perhaps Daihatsu in the K-car market in Japan, that has stuck with CVTs. I mean, they're very relaxing, because just listen to this. The engine just hums away. We're building up our speed again. We're over 50 miles an hour. And it kind of feels like you're not making any effort at all. It's most peculiar. And then you get to your cruising speed, you ease off, and the revs drop away, and you maintain the speed. Very strange. It's a good day for this, didn't I, folks? Chucking it down with rain, but at least we get plenty of wiper action, so you know, all good. But yeah, whenever I drive one of these R8s, I'm reminded of just how good they are. There's bits of Honda I like, there's bits of Rover I like. There's very well engineered cars. Sadly, with BMW purchasing Rover in 1994, Honda got quite put out by that, and immediately tried to pull out. There was the second generation 400, the HHR was a joint development, and so was the 600, but neither had as much Rover input as the R8 did, and I think both suffered a little for that. But ultimately, the failure to build on the success of these models is what did in for Rover. There just wasn't the profitability there. The next 200, the HHR, was kind of a combination of the front end of one of these, but with a back end that was more akin to a Maestro in terms of engineering terms. So here's a weird thing. We've slowed down to 20 miles an hour, but the engine revs are still up at about 1800. I imagine driving around town, perhaps this car isn't very economical. I imagine it's much better out on the open road. But we'll come out of this village and we'll give it a bootful and see if anything happens at all. I'm going to move my foot to make sure I can definitely get the pedal all the way down. So we'll give it a bootful now. Holding 4,000 revs, and we were up to 60 mile an hour. It's a different way of driving. Is it sporty? Not in the least. And of course, the other issue is no engine braking. So coming into bends, I'm entirely reliant on the brakes, which thankfully are awesome. Yeah, it's not a quick car. It seems a bit reluctant to get the engine right into its power band. I don't know if that's kind of to protect the gearbox more than anything. Incidentally, these gearboxes are getting a bit hard to look after now. Parts aren't easy to find, even filters quite difficult to find. I really like it. Is it sporty? No. Any of the manuals would be way more enjoyable than this. And you could get the manual with the 1.6. But It's actually quite nice as a sort of a waft-mobile. It does the wafting quite well. Keep an eye on that rev counter and just look how strange it is. So as I plant my foot, and then we're at speed. It is very, very peculiar. But yeah, lovely handling. The steering, nicely communicative. Like I say, just a little too light really for my liking. But you got no engine braking to speak of at all. There is an L position, so if you're going down a really steep hill, it will hold a lower ratio for a bit of engine braking. But generally driving down the road, you've got nothing. But even on a broad day like this is actually really nice. I actually really like it. There are people who will want to see it. I'm afraid the wiper blade is not in great shape on the back, but there is a wash as well. Oh, the jet might be a bit clogged. But there you go. That is the rear wiper on your Rover Tomcat Coupe. Good performance, really. Nice big sweep. Well, I have to say, I've enjoyed that a great deal. As ever, championing the underdog. The 1.6 CVT is truly it. Sporty, not a bit of it, but I actually enjoyed the technology. I think it works really well. It's just a shame this didn't really catch on here in Europe, the old CVT. It's a fascinating concept. But thank you very much for watching. Don't forget you can head to the HubNut store. We've got these new beanies in less lurid colours also available right now. They do suit a slightly smaller head. And thank you for watching. We'll see you soon. Farewell.